for one more minute. Great. It's almost like we get a mini round of the net in before the net even starts. So that's kind of fun. I guess showing up early has its benefits, because most of the time I'm like stumbling up to the microphone with 3 sips of coffee in me right about this time, So got a really good night's sleep last night too, but I was exhausted. I've been really dug in on the bathroom remodel, and I've got phase 1 completed, which is not very much, to be honest. But I've got the new, very capable and additional bathroom exhaust fans installed in the master bathroom. And now that that's done, I'm going to really start stripping paint in earnest, so that I can just have a way to suck a lot of the fumes out of there. I'll have other ventilation methods, but if the 2 fans are working very capably, they can just suck all the nasty fumes outside. It's going to be it was the right place to start. Anyway, so the bathroom remodel saga continues. We've got about 3 minutes. I guess let me flip it back up to Andy. And then, Andy, you could send it to Jeff, but I think it'll be close to net time by then. And I just got to step across the room for 1 minute, so I'll just be momentarily away from the switch, but I'll be right back. CDL. This is N1VIV.
Got the parts for it, so I'll be working on that. So I'll be having an amplifier also, so I'll have a much better signal. Alright, Joe, do you hear me? You're still in the room. Thanks for letting me know about your antenna system. It's simple, it works, you sound fine, it's doing a good job. You don't really, sometimes you don't have to be so sophisticated. Anyway, it's 7:58, so I'll make it 7:59 now. So we've got 1 minute to net. So let me just give it back to you, Joe, if you're still there, because we'll be right back. And it's less than a minute now, so you'll handle the net from here on. If you give it back to me, I'm going to get back to you for now, and you can get the order all set up. I did hear Al,
Yeah, very good, Andy. WA2CDL, we've got Chris in there. Good morning, Chris. AJ1G down the block. Excellent. Very good. This is N1VIV. And it does look like it looks like we're right at 8 o'clock according to Verizon Wireless, so we better jump right in. So we got Chris in there as well. Good morning, Chris. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to AM Carrier Net. My name is Joe. My call is N1VIV, and I'm located in Stonington, Connecticut. The AM Carrier Net meets every Sunday morning here at 8 a.m. local time here on 3835 on the 75-meter band. The AM Carrier Net was established for the purpose of promoting and enjoying operations in the AM mode. It's a casual net, so there's no requirement to check in other than being able to operate in the AM mode. We'd certainly like to hear from news stations who are operate in AM, whether you're trying to resurrect a phone anchor or you're trying to get modern radio to sound good on AM. On any given Sunday, there's a whole host of participants with knowledge and information to that end, so all are welcome. Please join in. Format of the net. for check-ins at the top of round 1 here, and then if there's check-ins during round 1, we'll pack them in to the end of round 1, and if there's check-ins after that, we'll just try to get them in as we can. And certainly want to let folks know if for whatever reason, even if you've checked in the pre-net, or you're checking in at the top of the net here, and you're on a short timeline for whatever reason this morning, just let me know by saying something like, please float me to the top, and I'll do my best to get you up at the top of round 1 so we can get you in here and then off to whatever other responsibilities you may have. We're happy to try to provide that level of flexibility for folks so that it might increase folks' participation in the net. So if you're on a short timeline and you want to get up to the top of round 1, just let me know. And that goes for anybody who's already checked in the pre-net. If you need a float to the top, just pop in when we're taking check-ins and let me know. And, we'll be able to accommodate that with no trouble. So, I think everybody was kind of hearing each other pretty well, so I don't think there's any need to go through the pre-net list. I'll just go through the list once for the sake of efficiency. Once we get ready to establish the order for round 1, which is already well formed based on all the check-ins so far. So let's give a listen. Any stations anywhere wishing to check into the AM carrier net, please turn now. This is N1VIV.
W1GTH.
Good morning.
WA2MER.
Okay, scribbling frantically here. Got it. Wow, what a great turnout. And I'll assume, Jim, that without any notation of a short timeline, you're okay this morning. I know sometimes you have to run early, but just let me know if for some reason you do. But I didn't hear you make any note of that, so we'll assume you're okay with your position a little further down the list. But again, if anybody needs a float to the top, don't hesitate. Getting a sip of coffee in there, don't hesitate. Let me know. Wow. Okay. I haven't counted yet. There's a good run of folks here, that's for sure. So we had Bob. Good morning to you, Bob. Very nice to hear you on the net. Bill, KD1SH, fabulous. From up there in the northeast corner of Connecticut, and Jim from down there in northern New Jersey. Excellent. Any other stations anywhere for the net, please call now.
Joe?
Yeah.
Just in case, I just heard the tornadoes running around upstairs, so if you call me out, get called there, it's because I had to step away, so just to let you know that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no trouble. Well, you know what? If for some reason we missed you in the rotation there, Rob, we'll check for you at the end of round 1. Does that work okay?
That's fine. I apologize. Like I said, I was hoping they would sleep late there because they were active yesterday. But they want Pop's French toast, and you have to feed these tornadoes or they'll start spinning more. I appreciate it. Back to you, Joe.
Yeah, no, I know that. I never had to contend with twins, but whew. It's a lot of work, man. Especially when you're the I guess you're the part timer, right? You're not doing the French toast every day.
No, they're not down here every day, fortunately. All right, well, I'll let you get back to the net. And win up. Thanks again.
Sounds like fun. Okay, let's listen to any other stations anywhere for the net. Please call now. This is N1VIV.
Joe, this is Steve, K2FW. I have no idea where you have me in the order, but if you can get me like in the top 4 or 5, I would appreciate it because I have some tennis coming up this morning.
Yeah, no trouble at all, Steve. You're in the 4th. Well, I guess if you count me, you're in the 5th position. It sounds like that'll work okay?
Roger.
Okay. Well, again, happy to accommodate folks who have varying timelines. I'm being lazy today. I'm not being lazy actually, but I'm not pushing myself to get out the door for spiritual enrichment. I'm going to be pushing myself to get up into the bathroom and carry on with phase 2 of the remodel. That's going to be discovered today. So I'll be here for the entirety of the day. I won't be here. So I'm good, but I know people have varying schedules. So I didn't hear everybody else, but let's give one more listen. Okay. Rip the net, please call now. A robust carrier, but no audio. Let's listen again for sure.
That may have been my spot signal, Joe, AJ1G.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's funny, Chris. Yeah, very good. Yeah, that makes sense. It's plenty strong enough because we're, 500 yards away, or probably not even 300 yards away. Yeah, very good. Okay, good. Okay, let's run it down and get it rolling. So here is the official list for round 1. If folks are ready to copy, I'll be ready to dispatch the list. And from there, I'll make a few opening comments and get it rolling along here. Because it's quite a nice list for the top of the net to turn out here. It's 8:07, so that's not so bad. So I'll get things started and make a few comments, and then I'm going to send it to Andy, WA2CDL. WA2CDL would send it to Jeff, WA2RAS. WA2RAS would send it to a new check-in, KE1AV. Kilo Echo 1 Alpha Victor. That's Dave in North Haven, Connecticut, on the Flex. KE1AV would send it to Steve, K2FW. And K2FW would send it to Frank, W2SDR. W2 SDR would send it down to Terry, W3MMR, outside of Philly. And W3MMR would send it to Jerry, W1ZB. W1ZB would send it to Rob, N1ALF. And N1ALF would send it to Bruce, WX10. Okay, we've got that straight now. WX10 would send it to Gary, K1IC. And K1IC would send it to Greg, KE1MI. KE1MI would send it to Chris, AJ1G, just down the block. And AJ1G would send it to Bob, W1GTH, in Walcott. W1GTH would send it to Bill, KD1SH. And KD1SH would send it to Jim, WA2MER. So Jim, if there's any additional check-ins, we're going to tack them in after you. And if not, come back up to the top of the list for me for a go at round 2. Let me do a quick time there. We got 16 already. That's pretty substantial. Yeah, that's fabulous. And so what's been really helpful of late is that if folks are able to let me know during your round 1 transmission, if you're able to stay for round 2, then I can really make as dedicated notes as possible and then it'll help management and lineup of round 2. So if you could let me know if you're going to be able to stay for round 2, and if it's just questionable, you can just let me know, and we'll figure it out. But if you know you are going to be needing to exit, knowing that during your round 1 transmission would be great. So I just wanted to make a quick comment and offer feedback from the group on Andy's suggestion of again possibly having a little swap and sell period in the net, maybe one Sunday a month. And so I was thinking that if that being a good idea, then we could select a Sunday in August, and that would give time for people to rally up some thoughts about gear that they want to host, and then we could do it. So my thought about it would be along the lines of go through the traditional round 1 rotation, and then right at the end of round 1 we would take a quick 10 to 12 or maybe 15-minute hiatus. Could just jump in and say, yep, I've got an item. Yep, I've got an item, and then I would make a sub-list and then we would let those folks go, and it would be a little bit of a down and dirty, listing kind of thing. So that would, and then we would carry on and run through our round 2. So I'd be interested to hear folks' thoughts on that concept and that format, and then maybe we can make it official, announce it a row, and then we'll have a little swap and sell period. I think it's a very interesting idea, and I'm happy to be involved. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I guess I would say, just on a personal note, folks are going to have to. I don't want to be the connector, right? that folks are going to need to say, contact me on QRZ, feed your email twice, or, something like that, because I don't necessarily want to be the facilitator in you guys down and dirty, find each other, and figure it out, and go from there. So that could be fun. I've got some stuff that I may be interested in posting in that format. I haven't used this old Globe Scout in many years, and would be interested in maybe sending it on to a new home. So, yeah, that would be interesting. And maybe some other items that I might have interest in moving along as well. Okay, so, on here, just a quick update. Of course, very hot and humid, but we do have some air conditioning in some parts of the house, and that's making it a little more comfortable. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm through phase 1 of the bathroom remodel. I think there's probably 4 or 5 phases. I guess we'll have to see how things play out. So I've got the very capable exhaust fan installed. Not just one, but 2 fans in the master bathroom. And so there'll never be any excess moisture allowed in that space again, because that was the main problem. Original exhaust fans were not installed properly. They were not as capable as they needed to be, and caused mold problems. Yeah. And so it's been kind of like I've been beating back the mold problems for a long time. Stripping everything right down the main board, respackling, repainting, and starting over with good ventilation in place. So the lesson would be, it's always easier to do something right up front than it is to remedy a problem that was not done correctly. But I didn't do the original job, and wasn't anticipating it to work out that way. But it is what it is. We're making good progress, but it's going to be a heck of a long haul. Other than that, in another 4 or 5 weeks, I'm going to be launching my older son back to Boston for take 2 of his Boston University experience. That'll be interesting. number 2 son, our younger one, will be going back to some semblance of school in September, and both of them have been able to sustain employment over the summer, so geez, you can't ask for more than that. In fact, my son works Dunkin' Donuts in the morning. That's my older son. Dunkin' Donuts in the morning and Applebee's in the evening, and he had a very good night at Applebee's last night. Finally, they finally got busy, because without the tips, you don't make the money. And he landed a good score last night, so that was kind of nice to see. Anyway, sorry, rambling on. Let's get it moving. Down to you, Andy. And we're really excited to hear the ICO that's going to be on the air soon. That's fabulous. WA2CDL. Looking forward to hearing that new transmitter for sure. Over to you, Andy, and then on down the list. WA2CDL. This is N1VIV, round 1 of the AM carrier net. Oh, yeah, Jeff, WA2RAS. Jeff, WA2RAS.
Okay, fine, Jeff, you get it then. All right, so good morning, everyone. This is WA2CDL. And, hopefully everyone knows how to do with this. No power in Japanese radio there. I want to go got to go back again tomorrow, and it's important to I'm happy to be back. Friday, so got those, so now I can put those in and rebias the modulator and check everything out and so on. In the meantime, I've been modifying the 720 with an internal relay and changing the capacitors and doing other things to it to make it sound really good. So I'll make it really nice and sound nice. And I also have an SP200 amplifier that's going to be transmitting into that. So the transmitter goes into the amplifier, and I'll have some pretty decent power in the amplifier itself. I'm modifying. I'm adding a soft start relay and a few other things to protect the amp. So, fortunately, I have more time now to do all this. So, All right. Again, I hope everyone is copying me with what's going on here with my audio and so on. And yeah, the swap net should work out good. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a Linemark member, and every week we have an info net. And during the info net, we set aside a portion to do a swap and shop, as we call it. And we have a net control station that does that, and he does a pretty good job. So we've been doing that for, Linemark's been doing that for many years. So it's a good thing. So hopefully it works out here too, and we'll see. Because I really have to start putting stuff up on the market as well. I got too much. All right, that's enough winding for me. And I'm going to say 73. I'll listen one round. And say hello to everyone. Jim, MER, hello to you and everyone else. And I didn't hear Al, VTP. I know he usually checks in. So, Jeff, over to you. Hopefully you're hearing me okay. And, I have another rig, by the way, which Jeff knows about. It's a Harvey Wells. It's a Harvey Wells TBS-50, which also I was going to put on the air. I did get the audio to work, but it sounds distorted. The audio does not sound clean with my Harvey Wells. I wanted to put that on in lieu of the problems with the 720, but I got to look at that and see why the audio sounds distorted. So I didn't look at that yet, but I did get the audio working because it was not working. So Jeff, that was for you, just to let you know. So when I get the 720 done, then I'll go back to the Harvey Wells and see what's going on with that. All right, Jeff, over to you, and I think I said enough right now. This is my only transmission, but I'll be listening one round. And Joe, have a good week, and thanks for letting me in again, and you sound good. WA2RAS in the AM carrier net. This is WA2CDL saying so long for now, and stay cool, everyone. Go ahead, Jeff, over to you.
Okay. Thank you. WA2CDL and the net. This is WA2RAS. Well, good morning, everybody. Very, very good signals today. But Frank is outrageously strong here, but really good signals all around. Transmitter today is a Latine radio, which is made guy whose name was Latine, Joseph Latine, made in his garage in Long Island in the 1950s, and listening on a Hammerwind HQ215. As far as the swap and shop, yeah, it's a great idea. Just as a side note, I ordered something on Evil Bay 3 weeks ago from a guy in Florida, and it was nothing big. It's a very small package, and it's still in Florida 3 weeks later. And I called the USPS. And they looked into it, and they said, yeah, it's lost. we do not know where it is. They said, the pandemic is very bad down there, and yada yada yada, and sorry about that. So just a thought: if you're ordering something from Florida, caveat emptor. So there you go. As far as the antennas that you were talking about, my property is not very big. I'm lucky to fit a 20-meter dipole. Actually, it's not a clear. There really isn't enough room for a 20. So in order to get the 80-meter dipole, well, if you look at an antenna handbook, it would be in the chapter "Don't Let This Happen to You." There's not enough room, so instead of an inverted V, I've got a horizontal V. and that barely makes it. I also have a long wire that runs through a tree in the property, but I'm having fun. I think that's the important thing. Andy, very good on the Harvey Wells. Glad you got the audio going. Sorry it's distorted. I can't have everything, Andy. But hope to hear you on the ICO combo. That's it for me. This will be my only transmission. I will definitely be listening out through the entire first round. And let me turn it over to a new person here. Dave, good to hear you on your SBR equipment. Why you're on AM, I'm not sure, but good luck. Here it comes, Dave. KE1AV. This is WA2RS. Go ahead, Dave.
W1VTP.
Now we've got Al in there. Let me just make sure I've got it. Okay, good morning, Al. W1VTP. Excellent, nice to hear you. So, Jim, WA2MER, please send it over to Al, W1VTP. And then, Al, if there's additional check-ins, we're going to tack them in after you. If not, you can send it back up to me. And you're number 17, Al. So quite a robust list here today. Okay, so we've got Al in there. Excellent. Down to Dave, our new check-in. KE1AV. This is N1VIV.
Hey, Joe, this is Steve, K2FW. I have to run. 73s, everyone, and
Take care, guys.
I have to take off.
K2FW.
Take care, guys. K2FW.
Okay, Steve. Apologies. I know
See you, Steve.
we were running. I should have floated you further up. But we'll look forward to catching you next week. And enjoy tennis. And bring an extra shirt. It's going to be soggy.
See you, Steve.
Okay, over to Dave, KE1AV. This is N1VIV.
I think I may have done it. Have I heard it?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave. Sorry. KE1AV, take it away.
Alrighty, good. Thank you, and hello to everybody on the net. My name is Dave. I'm located in North Haven, Connecticut. I am running a flex radio also here, so I appreciate the support. And it's a large net, so I don't think I'm going to be able to commit to the second round, Joe. But I will be listening because I am interested in the swap net that you're proposing. I think that's a great idea. I may have an old E-rig that I could be swapped out of. It's homebrew, so there's no guarantees, but it makes too much power for its low neighborhood. You can't really turn those things on, but we'll just set and select them. Very good on the rig repairs for Andy and the pandemic shipping impact from Florida. Anything I order on Amazon, it seems it takes 2 weeks. I ordered a little shop piece from Treeless, and it took 3 days. So just the new normal for the next foreseeable future. And large net, I want everybody's call down. I'll put it in the log, so hopefully I can start building familiarity with the crew. I've been in ham radio a long time, and been out for a long time, so it's a love-hate relationship. Yesterday I detected some RF on 20 meters. It was late at night when I detected it, and of course the brain was crunching on it and woke me up at 5 a.m. So I was on the bands troubleshooting the RF, and I got it fixed. It was just being stupid with the ladder line, I think. So that was dodge a bullet, and because RF can be a real pain. But I've got that solved. I knew it was going to be something very specific because it was only on 20, and all I had to do was redress the cabling, and
and remember that Ladderline doesn't like to be next to anything. So it's like once I remembered, oh yeah, you can't do that, that was it. So I will listen, but I do have to pot around and take care of a few things, but I'll have the receive audio cranked so I can hear all the comments, and I will be paying special attention. If you do break for a swap meet, Joe, I'll listen to that with interest. So I think it's a great idea. So let's see. I think Steve just signed, so I'm going to pass it over to, let's see, I think you said W2SDR. So correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. But I think Steve signed, so I think it goes to Frank. Hello to everyone, and nice net to KE1AV.
Welcome aboard to W2SDR.
The umbrella, which is pretty tropical out here this morning. I'm telling you, the dew point's got to be in the upper 70s, and I'm only reading 82 or 83 out here. Very sticky. So good morning to everyone here. I guess good morning to Andy and to Dave and Steve left for tennis. Perry, of course, Jerry, ZB, Bob, Rob, Bruce, Gary, and Greg. So not too much here. Just a normal sheltering in place. Watching and talking on amateur radio, so hope everybody's hearing me okay. Pretty good signals here this morning. Very nice, quiet band. No static crashes down here into Salem County. I'm using a Plantronics DECT technology headset. I get about a 600-foot range. I can go all the way out to the road on this, and in conjunction with my Anon 7000 DLE and my LD Moss amplifier, running about 300 watts or so of carrier this morning. So I'll keep it moving around, and I'll be listening probably for the rest of at least the first round. So over to you, Perry. W3MMR in the AM carrier net this morning. W2SDR.
Yeah, W2SDR in the AM carrier net. W3MMR. Real good pop. The headset sounds fantastic. Excuse me. And the Vox delay sounds good. Because I didn't hear you mention that you were using the Vox, but I know you are. The Vox delay sounded pretty good. I think it only dropped out twice there, so real good job. Sounds fantastic. So good morning once again to you. Good morning, everyone. 7-3 to you, Steve. Good hearing you this morning. Big signal as always, coming out of New Jersey. Right over the bridge, on over to the clean side, as we say down here. Good morning to you, Dave. KE1AV, pleasure to meet you, pleasure to work you on here on the net. My name is Perry, Papa Echo Romeo Yankee, and we're located in Chester, Pennsylvania, 7 miles southwest of Philadelphia, running an Apache Labs Anon 200D into a Henry amplifier. Running about legal limit and into a homebrew balanced down network tuner, and using a 600 ohm ladder line fit 80 meter doublet up about 60 feet. So those are the operated conditions, and the band's holding up here. So far so good. Good morning to you, Rob, once again, and good morning to the little ones there at the house, and the doggies, the doggos. And I think that's it. Oh yeah, I'm just real pumped for baseball. That's all all I'm really thinking about. That and work. Work's been real busy, but I think the Phillies play again today, so that's probably all we're going to do today. I got some stuff to do here around the house. Might cut the grass, depending on how hot it is when I open that front door. I might turn around and come right back in. So we'll see what happens with that. So anyway, this is my one and done. Joe, thanks as always. It's always a pleasure. You do a fantastic job, and thanks for being there for us. So goes to you, Jerry. Good morning to you, and a fantastic signal here as well. W1ZB in the AM carrier net. This is W3MMR.
just north of Boston. Name is Jerry, Juliet Echo Romeo Romeo Yankee. And the rig today is a Globe Scout 65A into an amplifier, pair of 3-500s, going into an end-fed half wave. And I'm listening on a 75A4. So big group in today. Good morning to everyone. And Joe, I think the swap and sell idea is very good. Certainly once a month seems to be a good rate to have them at. And certainly I can think of some stuff that might be headed for the door. Hi. Yeah, we had watched our Red Sox opener on Friday night and also the game on Saturday. So a little bit different, but certainly it does fill a void. Glad to see they got back on the field, and hopefully everyone can stay healthy. So not much more to report here. It is going to be hot for the next few days. We got all of our yard work done Friday and yesterday, so should be able to stay inside where it's a little bit cooler. So 73s, everyone. Oh, and Perry, I was able to play back last week's net on your YouTube channel. Very good. I was able to hear how this setup sounded, and was thankful that you made the recording. So hello to Dave, first time check-in, KE1AV. And with that, we'll say 73s. We'll listen out, but we'll be in for one round only. So over to Rob, N1ALF. This is W1ZB.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, sir. Okay, what's going on? Yeah, hello, Perry and Frank there, and the Augie Doggies, and your Augie Doggies. I wish when you stop by here at times, there, a little while back there, we could done a run around with the dogs there. Consider the situation, what's going on, and hope everybody's staying safe there. So yeah, it's a soupy time here. They're up, unfortunately. My son's girlfriend's making breakfast. They came down, but they wanted me to make it. I don't know if that's saying I make it better or what it is, though. But anyway, what else go? Nothing much here, you know. Nothing new. Playing a lot of radio, doing a lot of pool there. Yeah, we cut the grass after the humidity was so bad. I didn't even want to go out and ride the tractor there this week and cut it. So it cooled down a little bit, so we got the lawn all cut up. And hello, Dave, up in New Haven. Name is Rob, Radio Oscar Bravo. Most people call me Alf, N1ALF. And I'm down here in Greenwich, Connecticut, the last part of Connecticut, right off the Merritt Parkway, 5 miles south of Westchester Airport. And welcome to the AM Carrier Net. Yeah, and WA1 QIX system stuff you got there, very good. We're on with Steve quite a bit there. So, and actually we have his Steve's mod monitor up here on there, and we also have the Flex 6500. But what else is new? Oh, okay, just see State Police posted on their grill safety. Well, we'll go into that. I'll probably have. Yes, clean your grills out. One of the biggest things we have a problem with there down here in our department is grease fires. Keep it enough away from the house, too, or propane tank leaks. Make sure your hookups are very good and your tanks are in good condition. Most tanks expire within 10 years, and so places, you know, now I use an exchange tank place there, Rhino, whatever, and so I get in a new tank, or basically a tank that's been tested all the time, and have a fire extinguisher handy, and do not place your fire extinguisher next to your grill, because a fire extinguisher is made to go to a fire, not where the fire is, and So keep it away from there, and so you can bring it to there. Because if the grill's on fire, you may not be able to get to that fire extinguisher. And there's a process there. It's if you pull the pin, squeeze and sweep at the base of the fire there. But anyway, try to get it out or call 911 if it's out of control. And that's about it. So we're going to see what's going on upstairs. Maybe we can squeeze some French toast. Everybody's sounding good. The bands are good. And Joe, I got to give you a call at some time. I was reminiscing about Salem, Connecticut, Indian Field Campgrounds, which we spent a lot of time at Gardner Lake there. And all the area up there is not too far from you. Devil's Den Hop Yard there and State Park and fishing, all that area. I miss them. I got to take a ride up there. Hopeville, Connecticut and all that area. So we spent a lot of time. Mystic. And we missed that area. And it's really nice up there. So, Joe, again, thank you for running the net. Al, we hear you in there. I hope Rosie's doing good. I hear she's been having a little difficulty. So we're just sending prayers and up there for good health there. So 7-3s, everyone, and Bruce, I think we turned it over to you. Am I right? If I'm wrong, I apologize. Senior citizen moment. And when you left, the W1XO.
Looking for the mail and making sure our subscription didn't lapse. But we finally received it. But before he did, we had sent another check out there for him to replace the missing one. And so I think the final decision was if we get the second check, just wind it up. But we'll be checking. But it has been a delay. And in some important mail that we're sending out certified. We're also taking a while to get. There are all kinds of rumors about why the mail is being delayed, but I won't speculate as to the veracity of any of those rumors. I would be in favor of looking for
was hearing you, Bruce, but let me just check just in case. Bruce sent it over there. Gary, let's see if you're there. K1IC, this is N1VIV.
Yeah, no, I heard. Who am I to send it to when I'm done?
You'll send it to Greg, KE1MI, back up to Vermont, KE1MI.
Okay, very well. I was out of the room when you read the I just installed Echolink on the local repeater here in check-ins. I was waiting for a quiet spot, not having the signal, make sure I was waiting for a quiet spot, not having the signal, and make sure I was on signal. I think I was my spot was I think I was my spot was the weirdo. When he thought it was the check-in. Interesting you could hear that. I probably could have heard my audio if I thought. Well, been a hot week here. We was out last night, Joe, and got me Napa Tree Point. I got some great shots of Napa Tree earlier in the week, and last night I got some great shots of Napa Tree earlier in the week, and last night we were actually over in Watch Hill hanging out, and the sky looked very clear around sunset. And I said, well, when I come back, Diane didn't want to adventure out to the Napa Tree after dark with me to get pictures, so I took her home, came back, and got some shots, and fog came in and never got better. And it looks like the comet is fading from what I can tell. It's not as it was, and I've heard reports of that otherwise, but I did get some nice shots there earlier this week. Garden's going crazy. We spent yesterday staking tomatoes, and actually spent a good part of the day watering. We hadn't watered in a couple days, and took the better part of a day to get the watering done. Just so many plants, so little time. But everything's doing really well. We had a couple of tomato plants that just didn't thrive. I think they all came out of the same batch. Maybe they had a virus or something and didn't make it, but everything is otherwise exploding. We had our first cukes, we got tomatoes. Well, we have a tomato, one ripe tomato, a lot of green ones setting fruit now.
Oh, Brandon, that's so far outside. That's so far outside right there. Get out, Aaron! My guys are fucking savages in that fucking box, right? And you're having the worst chance to
But I could. And no evidence of Mr. Mouse anymore. He was definitely there overnight one night because I left him some food and he ate it. But after that, I put a little tiny Havahart trap in there, and was not tripped the next morning, and no olfactory evidence of him meeting his demise in the car. So I think he's gone. Comments for the group. Let's see. Jeff, you lost a shipment there from Florida. Yeah, the mail is definitely screwed up. They lost our tax form. We actually mailed in a tax form, which I'll never do again. Got lost. It almost made it to Ogden, Utah, but not quite. And as far as I know, that's where it's still listed on USPS status. We ended up refiling electronically, and actually that was end of June, and we got our refund within 2 weeks of that filing. So I was very happy about that. Let's see. Dave, welcome aboard. NE1 KE1AV. Very, very nice signal from down here in North Haven. I know a Dave Sanford from Electric Boat, but I can't believe that's you. That'd be a long commute from North Haven, and I don't think he ever mentioned ham radio. Working with him over the years. Let's see. Yeah, Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy. I think Rob came up with that's pretty good considering Frank's devotion to the pets there. So I thought that was pretty cute. And Rob's talking about the grease fires there. We had a food truck down an Electric Boat, a place called Greasy Ed's that actually caught on fire one time, but he came back and persisted on. So let's see, Joe, thanks for running the net, and sorry about the spot signal. I had no clue that would actually radiate that far, but I guess it did. So down to
down to Bob and Walcott. W1, or up to Bob and Walcott. W1 GTH in the AM carrier net. AJ1G. Chris in Stonington.
AJ1G on the AM carrier net. W1GTH, Bob and Walcott. And, yeah, okay. Well, actually, I tried to get in here a little earlier than I check in a little earlier than I did, but I forgot what day it was. I'm on the every day of the week except today. I'm ordinarily on a 40-meter net in the morning, so I fired up those radios and realized after a few minutes that I was on the AM carrier net, and so here I am. And we're running on 1940s equipment here, military equipment, ART-13 transmitter and BC-348 receiver, and which was a kind of matched pair back in the Second World War days. So, and I want to welcome KE1AV Dave too. I looked him up on QRZ, and he's only about 17 miles from me as the crow flies. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of the swap meet. Maybe I'm a little paranoid, but I see a potential for a couple of issues there. I mean, if you buy something on, let's say, eBay, it's already paid for, and you know exactly who it's going to, but let's just say, for instance, that a couple of guys want the same item. What is it, first come, first serve to the door? I don't know, but I think we need to kind of straighten that out. And are we going to give phone numbers out? So just a couple of issues that maybe we need to consider. So I'm not going to keep it long because I'm ordinarily getting ready to get out of here at this time. Honestly, I spent all day yesterday out. I have two riding mowers, two Craftsman mowers. They're older. One is a twin cylinder, and excuse me, because I don't have a garage, I park them out in the backyard during the winter, and my daughter had the same problem, even though she's got a shed. The mice get in there, and they get up in the flywheel, and they'll actually make a nest up there. And what happened was that I could hear the starter spinning, but it wasn't engaging the flywheel. And so I had to take the shroud off and with the air hose, and my goodness, you can't believe the amount of leaves and bedding that was in that thing, and it had actually stopped the starter from working, from engaging, and so I had to pull the starter apart and get a new drive gear, plastic drive gear, and put it back on there and cleaned everything out as best I could. But who was it? Yosemite Sam said, "I hates Mises to pieces," and they are a problem, especially in riding mowers, because they like to get in any place that's protected and build their nest. And actually, my daughter, when she first started her mower up this year, she didn't realize they were in there, and they actually, about 4 of them got cooked in there, which is not a nice thing, but you know, things happen. So anyhow, that's about the size of it. So anyway, I'll be out of here. Next week I'll try to remember what net it is that I'm supposed to be on here. And so I'm going to turn it over to KB1SH, Bill, up in, I think, Massachusetts, or he's in Connecticut, I guess. I'm not sure. Anyway, KB1SH, take it away. This is W1GTH. Catch you guys next week.
Net control, please.
Yeah, good morning, Al.
Yeah, I've got to go to the Blue Room. I'll recheck when I get back. W1VTP.
Yeah, sure, no trouble. Well, there's 2 or 3 stations, well, at least 2 ahead of you. So we'll just loop you back in at whatever point you come back in, Al. Great to hear you. And let's send it over to Bill. And then it'll go to Jim, WA2MER, and then back to Al if he's back. KD1SH, this is N1VIV.
Okay, Joe, very good. Good morning to you. Good morning to everyone on the AM carrier net on this wonderful Sunday morning. KD1SH up here in the quiet corner of Connecticut where the sun is shining and promises to be another hot, sticky day. I finally get out and mowed my lawn last week, and most of the week I was on vacation and suffering through the heat pretty much throughout the whole vacation. I never really felt like getting out and doing any yard work or anything throughout most of the vacation because of that. So finally, by Saturday, or no, what was it, Friday, it finally cooled down enough so that I could actually get out and comfortably mow the lawn. Anyway, yeah, Bob, I am in Connecticut, but just barely. I'm up in the northeast corner of the state, so about 10 miles south of the Mass border and about maybe 20 miles to the west of the Rhode Island border. So we're tucked up here in the corner. So very good all the way around. Dave, KE1AV, sounding really good down here. And I heard you in there last night on, I think it was either 3875 or 3885. Conditions were not quite as good, so your signal was a little weaker. Jerry, that Globe Scout sounds fantastic. I was amazed when you said that was a Globe Scout. It's impressive how good that little thing sounds. So, Chris, the mouse in the car, I had a similar experience up here. My wife had a little Hyundai, and one day something in there started smelling real bad, and we were never able to find the mouse. And looking around in the vehicle, my suspicion was that he had crawled up inside the little center console there, where the shift lever is and the brake lever, and got himself crushed by the action of the mechanism there, either shifting into gear or putting on the brake or something, and the remains were all crushed up inside the console in the mechanism. I couldn't actually see that, but that's where the smell was coming from, and that was my suspicion there. So never could get to it. I wound up sprinkling the whole inside of the car with baking powder, trying to or baking soda, I think it was, in an effort to absorb the smell, and eventually it did go away, but very unpleasant. My other mouse story is involving my hot air furnace over here. We heat the house here with forced hot air, and going back about 5 years or so, sometime in the middle of the night on a very, very cold night in January, way down below zero, up and said, I smell something burning, and I could smell it too, and something smelled like it was necessarily flaming on fire, but something burning. And I looked all around the house and couldn't find it, and in the basement, and the only conclusion I could come to was that the smell was coming out of the heating ducts, and a mouse had crawled through those ducts and wound up down in the heat exchanger in the hot air furnace, had gotten himself roasted down there. So went back to bed, couldn't do anything about it. And then maybe an hour later or so, we get woken up again by this horrible vibrating clang, 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 clang. It sounded like the big squirrel cage blower that's in the furnace was all out of balance, and maybe the bearings had gone. And my first thought, of course, was, wonderful. It's the coldest night of the year, and my hot air furnace is going to go out of commission. The blower bearings went bad or something like that. So I shut the furnace off and went downstairs and opened up the covers to the furnace, and figured I'd stick my hand up inside that squirrel cage blower to see if it could turn freely and see if it was wobbling due to bad bearings or whatever. A squirrel cage and start contact with something. And there was the little critter, and dragged that mouse out, and he somehow managed to get himself in there and into the squirrel cage, and got himself centrifuged to death in there. But his weight wasn't enough. Wasn't much, but it was enough to off balance that whole squirrel cage blower and just set the whole thing wobbling all over the place. So now those little critters do have a way of causing a heck of a lot of ruckus inside a house, and nothing worse than one of those little guys getting himself inside a radio in an old boat anchor or whatever. their urine may as well be sulfuric acid for the damage that stuff does inside a rig. So if you have old boat anchor rigs or anything like that stashed away down in your basement, you're going to want to use masking tape or duct tape or whatever and cover all the openings that one of those critters might get in through, because he gets in there and builds a nest and pees all over the inside of that rig, and that urine will eat holes right through the metal and just devastate things. So anyway, that's it for me, Joe. I don't believe I will be in here for the second round, only because I can't think of a single darn thing to say otherwise, and I'm going to go out and make my breakfast. My wife is just finishing up with her breakfast out in the other room, so I'm going to go make breakfast. So 7-3 and good morning. I will be in here listening anyway once I get my breakfast done. So 7-3 and good morning to everyone on the AM Carrier Net. Enjoy the wonderful Sunday. Make the best of it, even though it's going to be hot. And I turn it over to Jim, I believe, WA2MER. Good morning from KD1SH.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. KD1SH in the group from WA2MER. Very good morning, everybody. Yeah, Connecticut's getting a little bit light in the signals down here in Jersey. But other than that, Al's bombing in, and Joe, you were still coming in good and everything. I copied everybody. I bombed everybody, so that wasn't too bad. Yeah, mice. I'll just make one comment. I mean, yeah, they do a lot of damage, but they are incredibly cute. Mice are incredibly cute. You have to admit, especially when they're being held in the jaws of a cat. That's their cutest moment. So anyway, running the Millen station this morning, about 250 watts a carrier. 200 watts this morning. Things are a little tired. So, and running the SX28 receiver. A couple of radio issues here. My transmitter build is on hold until the last week in August. That's when my custom transformer, custom plate transformer, is going to be expected for delivery from Hammond, who owns Peter Dahl. So there's not going to be any updates, I guess, until last week August, first week of September, unless by some miracle they ship the transmitter early. But I'm not going to count on that. A couple acquisitions here. A couple of weeks ago I picked up an NC300, and so I'd had one. I was sorry I got rid of it. And just yesterday, a friend of mine in Michigan called and said, "Hey, there's this beautiful NC303 at an estate sale. It's really priced well." And make a long story short, I bought it. He happens to be coming to New Jersey next week, so I'll get the NC303 here. I'll make sure the NC300's working properly, and then I'm gonna. That will be one of my first offerings on the SwapNet, which I think, Joe, is a great idea. I love those. There used to be a SwapNet on 80 meters years ago. I don't know if it still exists or not, but I really enjoy it. It's a great idea, particularly the way you're looking at doing it, after the net, once a month. All good stuff. And, to Bob's concerns with the issues, we can work those out, okay? I do take issue with when you say on eBay, you really don't know who it's going to. You have a name and, a feedback profile, but, hey, we're all adults here, and hopefully we're all friends, and first come, first served, and if you don't like it, if you can't take a joke, you can fill in the blanks for the rest of the for the rest of that saying. And Joe, yeah, excellent idea on getting rid of that mold early. I'll just say that there was a house up the street where they did not pay attention to the mold, about 3 or 4 houses up, and the house was ultimately condemned. Okay, so that stuff can really get out of hand if you don't fix it. And of course, the earlier you fix it, the cheaper. There's no question. Hey, Chris, about your spot signal, I heard it too. All right, I'm down here in northwestern New Jersey. So either you have an incredibly potent spot signal, or you were actually keying up the radio. That wasn't your spot signal that Joe was hearing. I was hearing it down here. So I'm just going to chalk it up to one of the less fortunate among us who are underprivileged and can't afford a dummy load. So that's probably what the deal was. And yeah, we were out with the garden yesterday. My wife